welcome back to On the Slab Horror Show, where we come at you every Friday night. G-Man Greg, why do we come every Friday night to people?
Because it's nostalgic. Friday night is horror night, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm straight, and of course, as we always say, that's when the horror movies were on in Ireland when we were growing up. Every Friday night, 11, 12 o'clock, and
First time I remember was, I think it was a quarter to 12 viewing of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Savage.
Yeah.
Savage.
But that's what in the real broken, grainy, fucking horrible Irish channels.
Worked. But that's what we grew up with, myself and Ian. And that's why we bring it to you each and every week on a Friday night. So, before we go on, how's the form, G-Man? How's Tricks?
All G, baby. All G. You?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. I actually watched one of the films that we're going to talk about tonight.
I can't believe you hadn't seen any of these.
I know. And to my detriment, because I really enjoyed the one I watched, and we will talk about it when we're in there. But we're going to do a little, not a Craigslist, a Greg's list of such.
The one and only, baby.
Yes, the man is killing it on the show at the moment, and we just want to, props to the man. Absolutely, killing it. That's what I loved.
Teamwork, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Dynamo's not with us, but again, that's just life. Life is life, And you'll get us all. You'll get us all back on the show again together at some point,
Yeah.
But for now, But for now, we're going to talk about a movie franchise that's very, very close to Greg's heart. And if you know Greg, or if you've watched the show enough, I'm sure you know which one it is. It's going to be Wrong Turn.
I mean, it's in the name. You just don't take that wrong turn. I mean, stay on the road that you're supposed to go on.
Classic horror movie trope.
Movie tells you that.
Yeah.
Don't take the bad road.
Always take the other one.
Yeah.
So
no, this is like I'll always say, Nightmare on Elm Street 1 is my favorite horror movie. This is my favorite franchise.
Yeah.
Like this, I remember me and one of my best mates used to rent out 5 DVDs in Extravision for $5 for 5 nights. And
wow.
We go to the horror section, we pick out the worst looking DVD boxes we could find. And occasionally you'd find a gem in there.
Yeah.
Like we found Dog Soldiers out of that.
Deadly.
We found this. There was a few that we found over the years. This one, it became one of my favorites straight away.
Yeah.
And it was 2003 it came out, but I don't think I'd have seen it till probably 2006 or 7, because the second one came out not long after then.
Right.
So it was grand, and then it kind of ran in an order, but unfortunately, like the first one made it to the cinema, but after that, then they were made for TV movies.
Right.
Kind of similar to what we did with Stephen King stuff.
Yeah, which was a great episode, I have to say. I really enjoyed it. I hope everyone at home enjoyed it too, But
that was a fun one.
It was. So what we're gonna do, Greg, is you're gonna tell us, because there's, in terms of continuity, they're not 1 to 7. It's different. Yeah, so you're going to tell us, you're going to tell us which way to watch them, and then you're going to break it down like from 7 to 1 to your favorite one.
Yeah.
All right.
So in proper order, this goes Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings, Wrong Turn 5, Wrong Turn 5, Bloodlines. Then it goes Wrong Turn 1, the one you watched this evening.
Yeah.
It then goes Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, that stars the great Henry Rollins.
I love the man.
He's such a good actor, isn't he?
You ever see the film he was in, He Never Died?
No.
I think he's an angel. He's an angel in it. But he's just full of energy, full of anger.
The last thing I seen him full of anger in was Sons of Anarchy.
Oh yeah, as a Nazi.
AJ Weston, yeah. Then it's Wrong Turn 3. Wrong Turn 6. Oh yeah, 3. So Wrong Turn 3, Left 4 Dead, and then it is Wrong Turn 6, Last Resort, which is the final one of the Hilliker brothers, and then the 2021 reboot is obviously out on its own. which actually I was very surprised with. Obviously, being a big fan of the franchise when they rebooted it, to not have the Hillikers in it was, I just couldn't picture it. I was like, this is going to be shy. But the story way they changed it was very, very good.
Right.
So what I'll do is I'll give you my breakdown. So I'll start with that one. It's not the worst one in the list, but obviously it has nothing to do with the original.
Yeah. Franchise. So you're just as you say, you're putting a standalone.
Yeah. So this one is just going to be out there. It's in part of the franchise. Like if you buy the franchise box set,
it's in it.
It is in it. Now depends on which one you buy. I have the old one, where I have all 6, and then that's it. Like, but the new 2021 one is set in the same kind of area it's in the Appalachian Mountains, but it's set outside a small town where there's like a cult that are I don't even know what's the right word. So you know the way the Amish are out by themselves and they do their own thing.
Yeah.
So they're like the Amish except they're hunters.
Right. So it's like a community of sorts.
Yeah.
A commune or whatever.
Yeah. I can't think of it. I can't think of what they call them in it.
Sect, is it?
No. They actually call themselves, the community call themselves something.
Right. Okay.
But basically, a couple of teenagers go hiking in the woods, and these people start taking them apart. Then, but there's some twists and turns along the way, and I don't want to spoil it because it's only 2021 movie.
Yeah.
It is on Netflix at the minute. But it's like a lot of it you don't see coming. I didn't see how they were going to do it. I didn't see what they were going to do with it. But I was very surprised with it.
Right. And that's good coming from a diehard fan.
Yeah, it's like when I heard it was coming out because it came from nowhere.
Yeah.
Kind of like as in like I'm a big fan of Jeepers Creepers as well, and the new one of them has come from nowhere.
Yeah, which is great. Actually.
Yeah, and like it's great that Salva's not involved in it, but it's not as easy to say that with Wrong Turn because they've all had different directors. Obviously Mike P. Nelson done the new one, which was a good move.
Do you know who owns the franchise? Who owns the franchise?
I have no idea. Not me anyway.
No, not you. No, I mean, like the whole thing of different directors all the time is.
Yeah, the new one. All the characters are based off characters created by Alan B. McElroy.
Okay.
He's done a few movies I can't think off the top of my head now, but I actually can't think of what they were called. The Foundation.
Right. Okay.
That's what the group of people call themselves.
Okay.
But there's some great twists and turns in there. I'm not going to go too much into that one.
No.
Because obviously it's a newer one, and I don't want to have to put up spoiler.
Cool. So, but out of if you were going to rank it out of 5 slabs of me, how many slabs would you give it? For example?
3.
That's not bad. That's fair.
For a reboot of a franchise that I love is.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even give that to the Texas Chainsaw reboots. You know.
2003 gets a 5 for me.
Oh, I know that. You're wrong though.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I wouldn't give it a 5. I'd give it a 4 because I think Leatherface is a bit too big in it.
Exactly. He's too focused almost. If you get
me. But if you put Gunnar Nelson,
Gunnar Hansen.
Gunnar Nelson's.
Gunnar Nelson be UFC. Yeah, great.
If you put Gunnar Hansen's Leatherface into the 2003 one, it's better than the original.
Oh, now you're that's ridiculous talk.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Because it's astoundingly similar to the clown one that we brought up the other day. If you put Tim Curry into that new It,
we did say that, didn't we? Yeah.
No,
well, that's for me. No, that wouldn't happen. Right, anyway, we're not talking about TCM. Move on. So you're going to go into now the actual franchise itself. Yeah. So 6 to 1.
Right at the bottom, number 3.
Right. That one is that's so 1, 2, 3 and are together in the continuity, and then it's
3 is near the end. 3 is the second last one.
Right.
So 3 is based on a police truck transporting prisoners. from one prison to another.
Right.
And there's a very, very bad guy on it. He's a gang member or a gang leader. And it's actually, if I'm not mistaken, he is, Tuco from Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah. I can't stand him.
I'm pretty sure that's who he is.
Does he play the same character, does he?
Yeah. Chavez. Yeah. But they find a truck with a bank, like an old bank truck that was run off the road, and all the money's still inside it. So they go off that. No, it's not Tuco. It looks very similar though. But so they're trying to transport the money whilst getting away from the cops while keeping one of them alive. Of course, they're obviously being hunted down by two hillbillies, inbred hillbillies, who set traps and whatnot. There's some really good deaths in this. This is the worst one for me.
Right.
It's the one I'm least likely to put on.
Okay. And so, in other words, it doesn't need to be watched, does it?
No. So technically, you could go 4, 5, 1, 2, and then stop there. Although I do like 6, but 6 isn't necessarily. 6 was a good way to finish it.
Okay.
But 3 is just there. It's kind of based off one of the original Hilliker brothers, and he's just out there on his own with another little weird mutant.
His buddy, his best friend.
I don't know. Like, I actually got onto. So we got onto a debate on Facebook a couple of years ago with somebody, and I actually messaged the director on Twitter, asking him a fact that could he prove me right or wrong, and he told me I was right. So the guy was saying one of the heads that you see is of one of the older brothers, or she told me it was the young mutant in its head, and I said no, it's the head of one of the older brothers from earlier on in the series. And she's like, no, you're wrong, and of course, me being me, I can't, it doesn't
You
go
just
well
can't let it lie.
No. So I messaged him on Twitter, and he actually got back to me to tell me that it was. And I was like, yeah, screenshotted it, couldn't find the message that I sent to you once. So I was like, bastard.
You know you were right, though. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
I fucking. But
so
yeah,
that's that one.
That was that one. Just a brief overview. There's some really nasty deaths in that one, though.
Leave that for everyone to discover themselves.
Yeah. So 6 is called Last Resort. That's going to be my number 5.
Right, so
that's the very last one of the Hilliker brothers.
Right, so that's Last Resort is number 5. Okay,
yeah.
we'll do it like that instead of saying 6 is 5 and 5 is 1. Right, so Last Resort is number 5.
So Last Resort is, this one has a bit too much inbred in it for my liking.
Really?
Like, this is based on some kid gets a letter to say that his family owned a hotel in the middle of West Virginia, and they go out. But the very first part you see at the hotel, there's an old guy walking along the hotel looking for his room, and he gets an axe in the forehead. So the hotel and the land around it are used by the Hilliker brothers and all the other inbred mutants that are family.
Right.
And they have like a weird sex dungeon room and all in it. And like, it's just, there's a bit too much of it for me.
Right.
And I think they focused on it far too much than they needed to. But like in terms of the storyline, it goes quite well. But just some of the images in it, you just don't need to see.
Right. So was that done? Do you think that was done for shock value, or just for the sake of it,
I think it was done for the sake of it. I think this one was the money grab, but I liked how they finished it.
Right. Okay.
That kind of way.
Yeah.
Like the story should be ending there, and that's where it did end.
Right.
Actually, technically, it could have made more, but they obviously chose to reboot it. But
of course.
Again, the reboot's probably better than them too.
Yeah. And like you say, it's a different continuity. So. Yeah.
And then number 4 is Bloodline, or sorry, not Bloodline. Left Behind, which is number 5 in the series.
Right. And what's that?
Yeah. This one's all based off So they know about these mountain men. That's what they call it. They're having like a big festival for it, and they call it the Mountain Man Festival.
Who
And
has people that live there?
There's a little small town, yeah, and they have a big festival that loads of people drive to. It's like Mardi Gras.
Hold on a minute. They celebrate these killers.
Well, they don't actually know that they're actually there, but they have heard like the legend stories and all.
Right.
Right, but they're going around wearing their actual face masks and all. And I'm like, so they're not real. How do they know what they exactly look like? You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
There's a few little flaws in it. Doug Bradley's in this one.
Oh, cool.
Doug Bradley is the dad in this one.
I like Doug Bradley.
Well, he's the dad, but he's not the dad. He's just kind of taking in these three inbred hillbillies. Yeah, mutants, whatever you want to call them. And so then what happens is, in this one, they're going in, and I think there's 4 of them. There are 5 kids, well, not kids, they're like teenagers, who get pulled over by the cops, and they get found having weed and pills and all, because they're actually going to a festival.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But they've, in the process, have hit one of the mutants. The mutant comes out and tries to stop them, and they hit them, and then obviously it leads to them being arrested. Oh no, sorry, they hit Doug Bradley, is what they do.
The dad,
yeah, and he's pissed. He gets arrested as well, because he tried to put a knife on them. Right, and then the lads come to free him from prison.
Lovely.
And like everyone in the town are just oblivious to what's happening. And then like all the people that are arrested have to stay because they're arrested, but they're allowed to go and stay in a hotel. Some of them are.
Okay.
And
sounds like a real hit or miss.
Yeah, this one actually probably has the best death scenes in it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some really fucking nasty ones in this. Lads come into the town to get Luke Bradley back, to get Maynard back, and he says it to the cop. He's like, "You can just let me go now, and you'll all survive." And she's like, "No." Well,
that's her stupid choice.
Yeah. But there's some really nasty ones in this. One lad gets put into an oil drum, and then they light a fire underneath it.
Oh.
Yeah. The best one I was telling you earlier on the phone is the lawnmower, like the industrial lawnmower for the football pitches and golf. No, he bury a man up to his head, and he keeps driving by him, and he thinks he's gonna run him over, and he just misses his head.
Oh.
And then he eventually does run him over. Oh, it's.
That sounds kind of like in Fair Street when your woman gets pushed into the
the bread cutter.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad. I didn't expect to see that either.
No, not for that kind of, like, because it's kind of aimed at teens, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Maynard in this one, whatever way he sets up the gun to someone's under here and puts the trigger to the bottom of her foot, so when she puts her foot down, yeah, it's game over.
Sounds good. Sounds like you'd give Jigsaw a run for his money.
Yeah, well, I think he's an ex-Marine or something in it, but he's just a bit mental.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the bottom 3.
So now we're on to 3, isn't it?
Yeah, 3, 5. Yeah, so we're into the top 3 now. Just had to make sure there. Yeah. So 3 is what they call Wrong Turn 2.
Right.
Uncut.
Okay.
This one is the one with Henry Rollins in it. So this here is. Do you remember Survivor?
The
TV show.
Yeah.
That's what this is. They've made a TV show in the woods, right? But they've made it out as if there's a nuclear apocalypse. So every so often, when a challenge is going off, an alarm gets set, and you have to find it and do the challenge.
Oh, cool.
But it's all on TV. It's all being recorded. And of course, it's in West Virginia, and the Hillikers are around.
They become part of the show.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, there's some good deaths in this one too. Henry Rollins is an absolute monster.
Yeah, as you'd expect.
Yeah, like
I always felt that he never really got like good roles as such.
I think we've said it before, and I've said it on Retrotainment Recast quite a bit. If you fit a role, you might as well go to the well as much as you can and make as much money as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, don't get me wrong, he's a good actor. He's not a great actor.
No.
But he's a very good actor to play a character. Like the character he played in Sons of Anarchy when he played AJ Weston as the Nazi.
Yeah.
It's fucking phenomenal. And you can tell he's intense all the time.
Yeah. And that's why I love him so much.
He's the same in this as well. Like he's an ex army guy in this, but he's hosting the show.
Alright.
Yeah, like this one's very fun to watch.
So that's in terms of the continuity, that's number 2.
Yes. No. Yeah, sorry, yeah, that's number 2, yeah.
Yeah.
And then number 2 in terms of movies overall. This might actually be this one. I flip flop between which one I'm going to put on, but in terms of overall style of the movie, this one's going to fall into second. This is Wrong Turn 4, Bloodlines.
Okay.
So this is the original part. This one is set in an old mental hospital.
So this is like a prequel.
Yeah, this is how they became who they became, and this is where you see everything. So remember, very similar to Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Yeah.
You find out that his ma was raped after she got locked in and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like that. The whole beginning of it.
Okay.
But this one, so it's a lot of rich kids going up skiing up to a lodge, and they take a wrong turn, as you do. But they go to a abandoned thing because they're going to freeze out in the cold. And the boys arrive home to the mental hospital where they've lived, and shit hits the fan.
All chaos.
But it's all done in like thick snow, like proper thick snow. You know the way you say, thick snow might be about a foot or 2 for us.
Yeah.
This
4 or
is
5 feet for them.
Yeah, this is mental, and you can feel it too. It's real tense, and you know, I'm saying the mental hospital's never going to be a
cakewalk.
Yeah. But this one's very fun. Like they've got far more expansive with this one.
Right.
Now it's only a small cast. The 3 lads, 5 teenagers or whatever you want to call them, 20-somethings.
Yeah, they're probably meant to be teenagers, but they're in their mid to late 20s.
Yeah, well, obviously you know them American films where you see them driving big Range Rovers and all.
Yeah.
Snow sleds and all. But yeah, this one gets a lot of hate because of the way it's done. Like there's far more CGI in this.
Okay, and is it bad CGI?
It's not great, but it's not the worst we've ever seen.
Okay.
So that kind of way. It's more the death scenes. That thing, like obviously you're trapped in a into a hospital. There's only so many places you can hide.
Yeah.
But the discovery of everything in this was perfect. Like this starts off showing them as young kids in the hospital, and you see them obviously escaping and whatnot. And then you hear the stories and they read the diaries and things.
Sounds cool, actually.
Yeah. This one's I really enjoy this one, but surely because of how good number 1 is, it just doesn't quite make it to number 1.
And of course, number 1 is number 1.
Number 1 is just Wrong Turn, the original, 2003.
I watched that today.
Yeah.
As you said earlier, that was, and as you said, I can't believe I didn't watch this before. I love it. It's actually brilliant.
This one, like, this is what I said just off camera before we came on. Like, this was done in a way that you didn't need sex scenes. You didn't need people getting naked. Like, yeah, they're fun to watch when you're younger, growing up and all, but there's no real place in certain movies for it.
No.
You're hardly going to be doing that in the middle of the woods. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, some people are freaks like that, you know.
Well, I don't kink shame anybody. But like this one, as I said, I rented this out thinking it's going to be a terrible movie.
How wrong you were.
You could say I took a wrong turn thinking that.
Oh. Daddy jokes, what?
Well, if the shoe fits.
Yes, I'm the exact same.
But this was perfect. This is tense. This is awkward at times when you see them trying to escape. And then there's like a few scenes in this when you actually cringe. Like the other scene where he's lying in the bed and his man's holding the spring in the door.
Yeah.
Ripping into his hand and you're just like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, the cast worked really well in this. So this one set a doctor is driving from one side of America to the other to get an interview. I was leaving it a bit late that he had a 6-hour journey to do, so 7 hours for the interview. He need a bit of time to
prepare and freshen up.
But anyway, leave that to him. He sees that there's an accident and he goes down Bear Mountain Road. And well, to be fair, if this is all kind of his fault.
Yes, he starts the chain of offence.
Yeah, well, he doesn't actually, but there's a car crashed or broken down the side of the road, and he drops the CD, he's trying to get it, and he fucking plows into it.
And he destroys a beautiful car, his Mustang.
The Camaro. It's sad, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But like, he just, like, what was he at? Anything can happen on them roads.
Oh, of course, he was looking at the carcass of the deer. That's what distracted him. Yeah. And then he was bang. Idiot.
Smashed.
Mm-hmm.
But he obviously meets the group and he goes with them and they look for help. And people get picked off one by one.
It's very cool, actually.
Yeah. And I love how you don't see much.
Yeah, I like that. I love that.
Like you'll see Sawtooth quite early when he comes in and you don't even see him. You see you run back into him.
That's right.
And he gets picked up by barbed wire in her mouth. That's all sorts of bad.
Now, do you know what was cool? The one where he kills your woman on the top when they're on the tree in the trees.
Emmanuel Chickadee.
Boom, and then the whole body goes down and just half her head is left there.
Do you know what I love about that? It zooms in on her eyes and you see her eyes dilate.
Yeah.
And she's just falling. You're like, ugh.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I love though the scene shortly after that, when she's following them, or he's following her along the trees.
Yeah.
And he pulls the branch back and just smashes him with it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. But like even the scene, there was a bit of John Rambo in here when he jump out of the tower.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, I've seen this before.
Johnny Rambo there, what?
But no, Wrong Turn 1 was perfect. Well, not perfect, but it's
very enjoyable, I have to say.
And it's one of those ones. It's a 3-person slasher.
Yeah.
Have Sawtooth, One Eye, and Three Finger. Three.
The names, I guess.
Julian Richling plays the main one in Three Finger, who's the skinny one with the obnoxious laugh. Obviously, everyone you know Julian Richling's from Urban Legend and about 4 million other things.
Yeah, he's a horror.
Yeah.
What would you say?
He just pops up in everything. He's a cameo, not even a cameo, but he just seems to be in everything.
A horror mainstay. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, he just appears. I think if you want a creepy janitor or you want a creepy delivery guy or something, that's who you were going to.
Yeah.
But yeah, he plays the part so well.
He does actually. I liked him in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms, and so just give me a little. Like, we'll wrap up in a second, but just give me like an enclosing about the whole thing for me. What you think of the whole franchise?
Overall, I love the storyline of the franchise, and I wish they had kept with the budget that they did in the first one. Like the first one made significant money in terms of a low-rated film.
Mm.
There was no need to just go CGI and just hash them out the way they did.
Yeah.
Which was a bit disappointing, but I like the continuation of the story. I like the death scenes. And to be fair, I like the characters.
Yeah.
Overall, for me, it's a fun one. Like a lot of people won't sit and watch them because Obviously, they've gone into B-rated movies, made-for-TV movies, things like that. But they're the ones you have to give a chance to.
Absolutely. And I mean, you could be turning down your potential favorite film if you don't give it a chance.
As I said, we picked out DVDs to watch because they looked bad. And the one that I'll always go back to is this one and Dog Soldiers.
What a find!
I mean, they're two, and like one has become my favorite franchise, and one, as we've had the argument, is in terms of most people, it's either 1 or 2 in terms of werewolf movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, and that was a great, and like I said, great find.
Yeah,
in your crappy movies to watch or whatever. Like,
I've watched some fucking dreadful ones though along the way.
Do you know what? That's another topic for another show. Some of the worst ones you've watched from your X Division days. Definitely. I'm gonna hold you to that. Before we go, Greg, what did you watch anything this week? Did you watch any films this week?
Have I watched? I actually did watch something. I watched Gerald's Game this week for the first time.
Okay, what you think of that?
Going back, we talked about it on the Stephen King show.
That's right.
Gerald's Game. Well, actually, sorry, that was last week. I watched that. But it was different, as I says on the show. I found it kind of boring up until the twist happens.
Right. Okay.
But this week I went back and watched an old M. Night Shyamalan classic for me. I went back and watched Signs again.
Oh, I love that film.
Yeah. Man, that alien scene at the birthday party.
Oh, that freaked me out.
Yeah.
We've done an episode on that before, actually.
Yeah. You know that according to, I think it was Ranker that I was looking at, they have that as the 6th scariest horror scene.
I'd well believe it, because I'm freaked me out.
Do you remember we keep move, children, feminist?
Yeah, trying to hot to the telly.
Yeah.
I think that's a very underrated film.
I think it falls underrated in terms of his movies because he came out with The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, everything afterwards was.
If he hadn't have done The Sixth Sense, I think you're talking about that movie exploding for him.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think a lot of people don't like Mel Gibson.
Why? Mel Gibson is cool.
Because he's mental.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with his acting, you know.
That's the problem, though. I find like I'll always go back to the likes of Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a problem with it because of the director, and I fully understand that.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't be vilified for liking something that you like, you know.
Yeah, but if you think about it, right, the director may have directed the movie. There's about 500 or 600 other cast, crew, and everything in that, right? Exactly. And that doesn't take away from the movie being a good movie.
No.
Like Salva's a scumbag, fine, but I can distance myself from him being a scumbag to watching the movie and enjoying it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Mel Gibson's mental outside of thing doesn't mean I'm not going to go and watch Lethal Weapon. Doesn't mean I'm not going to go and watch Signs.
Yeah.
Braveheart. Exactly. I mean,
he's made some really, really memorable films over the years.
What's the one? The Patriot.
Yeah.
Payback,
Mad Max.
Mad Max, yeah. But a lot of the people now probably only think of Tom Hardy being Mad Max.
No.
Yeah, no, not for me either. Now it wasn't bad.
No, but it wasn't Mel Gibson, so.
He's not. That wasn't a Mad Max movie though. That was Charlize Theron's character stole that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But that's for a different day and a different show.
Exactly. I watched Witchfinder General.
Is it good?
I love it. I absolutely love it, and that's on YouTube. Would you believe?
Interesting.
It's Vincent Price, as we spoke last week. I love Vinnie Price.
Yeah.
And
this is what I was saying to you off camera. I know when you and Ian done the 60 show, and obviously I wasn't here.
Yeah.
You picked Vincent Price as your top pick.
Yeah.
The Dynamo himself obviously picked Christy Lee.
Yeah.
And I would have been the third member of that, and I would have went with Peter Cushing as my favourite.
You see, that's it. Like, they're all iconic in their own way, aren't they?
Yeah, like they all went on to had phenomenal careers.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
look,
so that was my
just a
that was
slight bit of preference.
so that was my view on this week anyway. That, and then as I said, Wrong Turn. So
I actually tried to get my hands on What Happened to Baby Jane,
oh, what a film!
but it's proven a little more difficult.
Oh yeah, okay.
Well, it's not even a little more difficult. It's a little more difficult to find a decent copy of it.
Yeah.
So can't say that on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you'll find it. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll find it. I have to
Exactly.
purchase it. Yeah. No, there's a few. I have a few lined up now. I want to go and see Black Phone soon. Hopefully, we get an episode out about that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think we should probably try and do an old On the Slab excursion maybe to the cinema before that's gone.
Oh, I think we have a better one in mind for the cinema.
Oh yeah.
I think it may come down the line in October quite quickly. I think
we'll say nothing about it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Going into the church now, lads. There's a few though. Actually, if you've seen the social media post that I put up there a couple of days ago, there's a very few movies coming out now in terms of the next 12 to 18 months in horror.
Yeah. So we'll have loads of episodes for everybody.
Well, we have episodes every Friday anyway.
Exactly. Always without fail, every Friday. You just don't know who you're gonna get. You could even get Tombstone's head into the mix, you know?
I mean, he's certainly playing his part now.
Absolutely.
The man's a secret level goat. He
is. Absolutely. But don't tell him that too much though, because then he'll get a big head, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, as always, like, follow, subscribe, share, whatever you need to do on the social medias.
Yeah.
It's at On the Slab Horror on Twitter and on Instagram.
Yeah.
And obviously on Facebook as well.
otshorror@gmail.com if you want to email us as well. Just to even.
Yeah, one of us will pick it up anyway.
Yeah, you or me, basically.
Well, I think the Dynamo has it as well.
He's rocking it with the Twitter though, so.
Yeah, he is crushing it. And stay tuned over the next couple of weeks. There's a couple of massive guests due to come on.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
We'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
But, well, I think we'll wrap her up there, will we?
Yep.
It's been awards. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was interesting to hear those because, as I say, I'm not familiar with them so much.
Yeah.
But I'm delighted I did watch the first one.
Yeah.
Give me an idea of what was going on, like, you know.
But I mean, some people will watch them and say, "I'll watch it once and that'll be that." And I do recommend it, like, but that's up to you if you want to watch it.
Exactly.
But I think, in the words of the great George A. Romero, stay scared, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh. See you later, right?